I don't think I've seen a more accurate statement about the U.S. economy than this one Peter Santinello clip.
What about the younger generation?
They're gone.
They're leaving. They're leaving town?
They're leaving town, and the ones that are here, they don't really care about anything. Yeah.
So from my understanding, talking to some locals, it's either people are on drugs or people are super hardworking. There's like no in between. It's like you got two different groups, right?
Right, that's right. Mm-hmm. Two different groups.
Ah, new American poverty. Good to see it crosses state lines. Hello, I am Richard. The channel's called New Memphis, and I am so glad that you could be here today. Where we're gonna be talking about the U.S. economy and its, states, shall we say. I personally am currently in yet another round of applications. Yet another day. I guess I can't really speak to how things are out there, but I can say that here in Illinois, it is rough. Interestingly enough, it seems to be split into like three kind of sections as far as young people go from what I've seen. My friends who live way out in the country are doing okay. Farming is always hiring. They're the ones in medium-sized cities who are doing okay, but steadily getting worse, mostly due to decaying job conditions and, a terrible job culture. And then there's the ones who went to the big city, which is, at least in my region, that's Chicago. And most of them are doing, the tacit agreement for young people going out to this city to make their fortune is that there's always opportunity if you're willing to put in the work. And more that promise is just not there. If I'm gonna give my 2 cents, and you know that I will, it's just that people can't afford to live nowadays. It's just too expensive to do anything. I just finished up my latest round of awful job applications. Getting asked to do insane math problems on Indeed or fill out the exact same form with slightly different wording 10 different ways. Explain how much I love getting yelled at by Karens all day. Every single job seems to want you to write a cover letter in which you say how much you love the company and would love to work with them and would just love to sell their products so much. And then the next line is, it's entirely commission-based or you get $5 an hour. Companies now, they want all this hype. They want young, fresh people who are gonna take their product to the next level, who are gonna come in with new ideas, and they wanna pay them nothing, and they want them to be in a terrible environment because they don't want to invest in them. And as long as that's the case, we're just going to continue to be in this state of decay as far as the U.S. economy is going. Because companies just can't function. They don't have any fresh blood. They don't have any fresh ideas. And young, smart people are being driven away en masse. Universities are having a similar problem, but that's a different video. It's just a society of fake people and the fake economy. It's like everyone is supposed to lie and constantly say how great everything is, how great the company is, how great... it's just a world and a job market that's entirely based off of hype, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. When I was making the video yesterday about the shooting, I didn't even mean to catch the mayor asking for funding from Springfield when I was doing that. That was just totally happenstance. It just goes to speak to what's going on in this state right now in Illinois. The only way to actually make money is to get funding. That's where the money is. Don't try to have ideas. Just fill out forms until someone writes you a check. It's as true in business as it is in the government. You're not trying to get customers. You're not trying to build, a brand. You're trying to get that sweet COVID relief money. That, however, seems to have finally run out, so we'll see how things go. Man, this is breaking apart. Yeah, this was, doing this with my hand was a bad idea. Anyway, yeah, now that all that COVID relief money is running out, I don't know what's gonna happen. Chicago, apparently the city itself is having some kind of a massive budget deficit of $1 billion specifically because the COVID relief money ran out. That's just absolutely insane. How does a city get $1 billion in debt because they're waiting on funds from the federal government? This is why businesses in liberal states fail, because the best way to make money is not to have a great product, it's to fill out forms until someone writes you a check. Chicago's gonna have to, if anything, have to come to terms with the fact that it's going to be a fundamentally... This is so bad. I should have mentioned at the beginning of this that I'm not actually good at making bread. I just like doing it. So I am. Chicago is just a fundamentally smaller economy than it was, 10 years ago. It's a fundamentally smaller economy than it was 5 years ago, thanks to COVID. And it's been hemorrhaging people ever since. All of Illinois has. That's not unique to them necessarily. And a lot of major cities have been, especially the young and educated, as they, take their big tech salaries, the ones who have them, and they go live somewhere cheaper. This thing is a mess. Well, I'm gonna have fun making it. That's what matters at the end of the day. It's not gonna be good bread, but I'm gonna have a lot of fun making it. I don't know. At some point, you know, the leadership of this state's gonna have to be able to offer people something other than, you know, hollow platitudes. And when that happens, I don't know. I mean, I always go back to this one particular interview that I always remember of Brandon Johnson, where all he wants to offer to the reporter is just, you know, platitudes about building a better, stronger, safer Chicago. But what Chicago actually needs, and this is pretty much across the board for most of Chicago land and all the suburbs that really, really want you to know that they're not Chicago, or the rich ones who want you to tell you that they are Chicago. What they need is that, you know, ground level community development that Illinois' leadership is just not capable of and hasn't been capable of for years. And it's true for leadership across the board in a lot of liberal-leaning states. Don't get me wrong, conservative-leaning states like Texas have their own issues that come directly out of them being conservative-dominated. I'm not saying it's like, you know, it's not a good thing or a bad thing, it's just a thing. But you know, it just seems like increasingly we're just gonna end up being stuck with a leadership structure that has no desire to actually lead, just to preserve their own opulence. Meanwhile, we're all just kind of stuck here, just, I don't know, trying to survive. Gotta keep putting out those job applications in between trying to do stuff that I like, and I swear to God I used to be good at this. I swear I used to be good at this. If I'm totally honest, I'm kind of scared for the future of the state. I'm scared for the people in it, scared for where we're gonna end up here. And who knows. And for those people who actually wanted to start a family, like those are people I feel the worst for. Because I mean, there's just no support for them whatsoever. I mean, you wanna go $200,000 in debt to get some ridiculous degree that won't help you find a job in 4 years? Oh yeah, Illinois got your back. Illinois is willing to help you do that all day. All kinds of resources for you to help you do that. But you know, you want to raise a family, you want to have kids, you want to do old school stuff, you want to get a house, you want to start a business. Nothing. You know, one girl who started the business out in like this decrepit mall out in Urbana. She seems to be doing pretty okay, but I don't know. All right, we're gonna see if these manage to rise. I think we're gonna watch a little bit of news before we call this. Check out some of those interviews of Brandon Johnson and try to see what the state of Illinois is doing to fix all of this nonsense. All right, let's see what's in the news today. Okay, so good news, bad news. Bad news is I'm re-recording this because my audio wasn't working. But good news, there's been an update since I recorded with the identity of the shooter from the train. So we're gonna check that out first, and then go into some job market stuff, or wherever this may go. We're gonna talk about what's important.
A lot of new developments in this case. Police were able to nab the suspected gunman within an hour after this very heinous attack. Take a look at your screen right now. 30-year-old Ronnie S. Davis out of Chicago, now charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder.
I know the comment section below this, probably below all of these news segments, full of, "Ha, I knew he was black. Yeah, I knew he was black," and some probably fatherless jokes in there too. To be clear, Chicago is a city with a massive black population, therefore a black person doing literally anything is not surprising. Again, I'm not going to ban comments like that because free speech, but don't be a dick.
We're also learning the names and ages of 2 of 4 of the victims. The Cook County Medical Examiner Office says 60-year-old Adrian Collins was shot in the stomach before dying. Also killed a 28-year-old Simeon Bahesi. Also, there's a 52-year-old man and 64-year-old woman who were murdered as well. Their names not yet released. Now, authorities say all 4 were likely sleeping on the Blue Line yesterday morning when the gunman killed 3 people on one train car, then walked to a second train, slaying a 4th person. Riders are certainly shaken up by all of this.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've been riding trains all my life, and I'm not like scared like that. And then I get here, I took Pace instead of the train.
We will share that press conference and stream it live on our website at fox52chicago.com.
Ooh. We may watch that on stream. We're going to watch a stream of a stream. Oh, 7 o'clock. Wait, 7 o'clock. What time is that? It's currently 5:30. Okay, so we're going to go through some interesting stuff, and then we might live stream that. I might go check that out. Oh yeah, this was something I found really, really interesting. Okay, so again, I'm re-recording this. I already reacted to all this once, but I find this really, really interesting. So I noticed I was going searching on Google, and I was looking for recent interviews with the Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, and I noticed that he did a talk with CNN just yesterday on September 2nd, and he did it with CNN. Of course, he didn't talk to Fox because why would he? But what's funny is that when I checked YouTube and I went to CNN's page, I couldn't actually find this interview anywhere. Yeah, no, this interview wasn't anywhere. It's not. This interview with J.B. Pritzker was absolutely not on CNN anywhere, which I guess isn't super surprising because anything with J.B. Pritzker just ends up getting like 1,000 views on YouTube. But I find it interesting that Fox took this CNN interview and put it on their site because what he says is pretty stuff I agree with.
Between Vice President Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Is it going to be hard for the both of them? That's going to happen in the next week or so here on September 10th. What do you mean by that?
Well, look, I don't think anybody should underestimate Donald Trump. He has won a couple of debates that he did. Certainly, people would say that he won the debate against President Biden. No. And we saw that he won the debate against Hillary Clinton when he ran the first time. I mean, that's all I'm trying to say. But we shouldn't be thinking that it's somehow Kamala Harris has a greater ability to win a debate than Donald Trump. They're going to come in as significant rivals with very, very different points of view. And I think getting those points of view across and making sure that you're not getting enough flummoxed, frankly, by Donald Trump will be an important thing for Kamala Harris.
I find it so interesting that CNN decided not to put that on YouTube. It could just be that they thought it was going to get low views, but I also kind of genuinely wonder if they were afraid of getting pushback from Kamala fans. Democrats deliver. Oh, wow, JB. He has his own YouTube channel? Wait, he has 3,000 subscribers? JB, you're the governor of this state of 12 million people. Oh, my God. Okay, I mean, not that like a presence on social media is the most important thing to being a leader, but like 3,000? Is that just me, or does that seem crazy? Let's see. Democrats deliver. Okay, I'm curious.
Everywhere in this great country, there's no
that suit is way too big on him.
Staying focused on the people we serve.
We're hemorrhaging people.
Because Democrats deliver.
We've lost. Okay, in the U.S. Congress, we've lost like, was it 2 seats in the last 10 years because our population has fallen that much? Like, we've been run by Democrats for years now. And we're losing population, like, en masse. Like, oh, okay. Well, we're only 50 seconds in. All right.
In workers' rights. So in Illinois, it's an opportunities for all. We believe in...
Is that a for-lease storefront in the background? JB, you couldn't even find enough occupied real estate in Chicago to stand in front of. Democrats deliver.
Voting rights. So we've expanded early and mail-in voting.
That is good, yes.
Free speech.
Republican attacks on mail-in voting have been ridiculous and unconstitutional. Absolutely appalling on their part. I will give him that. Absolutely. This book is gay. I think the issue was that it was like in schools with little kids and it was weird.
Who you love. We stood up for LGBTQ plus rights under the law.
Look, I don't have a problem with LGBTQ plus rights. Yeah, protect them. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. But you go into a deeply impoverished neighborhood, whether it be in Chicago or in the sticks out in bumfuck Illinois. You go into one of those neighborhoods that has faced deep systemic poverty, and you make one of your key issues trans rights, they're going to laugh at you, as they should.
A national leader in new industries, like advanced computing and clean energy. Because Democrats' industries, like advanced...
That's a CGI render. You have a CGI render of using lakefront property for an office park, and you call that a success. My God, Democrats deliver. I'm sorry, Chicagoans. I fucking hate this thing. This stupid bean. It is so stupid. I'm sorry. It's so dumb. I'm sorry. I know. No, I'm not gonna be. That's just mean. I shouldn't do that. It's so dumb.
In defeating Donald Trump.
Okay, but what are you united in doing? I don't care. Don't just talk about how bad the other side is. What are you doing? What's some real tangible policy? Stop promising jobs are coming back. They're not. They haven't been for years. 5.3 thousand views. That was the best you could do? You make a big pitch to try to get people to move to the state, and the best you can do is 5,000 views? We're going to make an entire video out of going through JB Pritzker's YouTube channel. I wanna make a whole thing of that. That's going to be an entire thing in and of itself. Oh, there's Bernie. He shows up too. Oh, this is that project. This is that CGI render that we just saw. Is that? Oh, the Quantum and Microelectronics Park. Yeah, this is it. This is that CGI render we just saw. I watched this earlier, but I didn't... This is... Yeah, that's the same render. Yeah. This is July 25th of this year. Sorry, it just now occurs to me. They're using lakefront property for this. It's also near Lake Shores Drive. I wonder if this is specifically for, like, the tech people who drive into Chicago in order to be there for the day and then leave. I wonder if that's the entire point of putting it at the lakefront. Even if I'm wrong on that, lakefront property for an office park, man, that's quite the choice.
Today, that vision comes further into focus as we stand here at the site of the future Illinois Quantum and Microelectronics Park.
Be a horrible idea. Massive waste of money. Great way to generate VC funding, get the federal printing press going, but total waste of money.
Right here beneath our feet will be a catalyst for a potential revolution in science and technology and the betterment of life for all humankind.
Wow.
We intend to drive innovation on a history-altering scale and provide unprecedented economic opportunity for the people of this great city and state. I'm also very excited.
Again, they're using lakefront property to put this right by Lake Shores Drive so that you can make unprecedented economic growth for people who live in the suburbs and commute in and then leave the city, which is why Chicago notoriously, if anyone has ever lived there, can back me up on this in the comments, please. The city is completely vacant after like 6 p.m. After all the tech workers and people in the office parks go home, the city is basically abandoned. This is just only going to make that worse.
Our first anchor tenant of this park, Psi Quantum.
Is this going to work like a freaking shopping mall? Anchor tenant. This is going to work like a shopping mall? You're going to have individual like, So it's individual companies with VC and federal funding. You're trying to court them here with a big fancy... Okay, so it's trying to get... Interesting. Okay. So that's basically what happened with big tech in every city. And it didn't end well in the long run, as I recall. You know, office parks aren't doing well right now. This is what I mean when I say, like, they don't have any ideas. Like, there's no actual leadership. Just go begging, go searching for the biggest pile of money that you can find. Just go rooting around for it. And that's all that Illinois' leadership knows how to do.
This is a leap of faith in many ways. The General Assembly understood that we had a great opportunity, but they also knew that making an investment of this kind can be groundbreaking, and it was something that was timely. Here in Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson and his team, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for helping us make this property the location of this new park. You really have been a terrific partner standing side by side in this great advancement for our city and our state. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ain't gonna do shit for the state. Ain't gonna do shit. It's not gonna do shit for Chicago either. It'll do a lot for the suburbs. And I'm not even trying to argue that quantum computing couldn't be some massive breakthrough. But like, people in Chicago, and I don't mean the suburbs, I mean actual Chicago, are struggling to be able to afford rent of $1,400. People can't afford it working a regular job. So instead of bringing in high-paying regular jobs, bringing in this super high-scale tech stuff that's going to bring in outside workers. They're going to bring in outside people who are going to live in the suburbs and commute in every day and then leave. And it's not going to solve anything. You're not doing anything. People who actually live here. That is the exact problem. I'm so mad. I'm so actually mad. Anyway. Oh, God. I don't know. Have I made my point? I feel like I've made my point. I do want to make an entire video out of just going through Pritzker's ridiculous YouTube channel. I do want to make a video out of that. But for right now, I will see you guys later. I think I'm all good here. It's oh God help us all. Oh God help us all. I will see you in the next one.